Welcome, welcome. So, this is my first time, I think my first time really going live on YouTube. But people ask me all the time about my makeup. So, just to tell you a little bit about me, my name is LaQuail. I am 43 years old. And about 20 years ago, I started working at Macy's. I always loved makeup. It was something that I always liked to look at, I like to see, I like to try and test it out. So when I started working at Macy's, I worked at a makeup counter. And so I know how to do department store makeup. But what I learned is most of the women that would come and see me when I sold Fashion Fair Cosmetics, which is an African American minority line of cosmetics and skincare, and Elizabeth Arden Cosmetics and Skincare. Most of the people, 99.9% of the women that would come to my counter, they just wanted a perfect everyday look, a look they could wear to work, a look that they could wear to church, to the family function. And so because it's been 20 years, I know there's a lot of women that are like me, that are in my age group, that have a lot of makeup. Like I can tell you right now, I got tons and tons and bags of just makeup and products and skincare. And a lot of what happens is you go get your makeup done, you love what you see, you buy everything the person used, and then you go home and you don't know what to do with it. So it just sits in your dresser drawer, it sits in your vanity, it sits in your bathroom. And so I wanted to do this because I've been asked so many times, you should teach, you should teach. So I decided today, while I get ready to do some content, I'm going to teach on what I do and what works for me. And this is very helpful, I think, because this is something that you can do very quickly. I know a lot of times when you're getting ready for work, you don't have a lot of time. So I can show you how to do your makeup very fast. So the first thing is, the one thing that's really important is your skin. So whatever you're using for skincare, that's going to lay the foundation for your makeup. So I'm just going to tell you what I use. I have a phenomenal skincare line that I sell. I use those products. But what I want to really tell you about is this. See, if you look at my forehead, I have a couple little blemishes. But if I told you that about a year or so ago, all of this was black marks. And so just so you know, I started detoxing. And by default, my skin started to clear up. So whatever was causing that was something going on within my body. So this is a detox that I use. It's a lemon CBD detox cleansing tea. So I believe the CBD in it is what helped clear my skin. I also use a CBD superfood spray. I don't use moisturizer. I use this spray. I actually use it on my face after I cleanse, but I also use it on my makeup brush before I apply my foundation. So let's get into it, ladies. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to brush out my eyebrows. Now, these are my natural eyebrows. They're very full. I was blessed in that area. So the eyebrows aren't something that I have to do a lot of work to. But I always brush them up and, I get them threaded. So I just kind of brush them with this mascara wand to get them in shape. And then I use a brow powder. I know there's brow pencils, but for me, a brow powder has the most natural look, especially if you have a lot of work to fill in your eyebrows. So what I use is actually Anastasia. This is Chocolate Brow Powder Duo. So I use the darker side, as you can tell. So I have my angled brush from Smashbox. And what I usually do is I just do some upward strokes just right where it's a little thin in the front. Now, even though my hairs are black, I prefer to use a dark brown powder because it's still a more natural look. I'm fair skinned, so if I use a black brow powder, it's going to be too pronounced. And I change my hair a lot. So if I'm wearing a red hair, if I'm wearing blonde hair, if I'm wearing sandy brown hair, I can't have black eyebrows. So I just put a little there and then I add a little on the tail. So we're going to go to the next eyebrow. So again, as you see, I'm just filling in where it's a little thin. Now, what I'm showing you is probably not like you've ever seen. When you go on YouTube tutorials, some of the things are so in-depth that I know for everyday life it's not realistic. So I'm going to show you how you can do some realistic stuff for yourself, okay? So there we go, my eyebrows. Now they're in. Now, what I usually do before I do my concealer under my eyes, I do my eyeliner first. So that way, if the eyeliner bleeds or anything, I can clean it up before. So this is MAC Eye Smolder crayon in, I guess Smolder's the color. I use a pencil. I like the ones you sharpen. I don't like the twist ups. That's just me. So I start here and I use it. I use my lash line to apply my eyeliner. All right, so we're putting on the lash line to apply the eyeliner. Okay. All right. So next I'm going to go in with my concealer. Now it depends on where you are in your makeup journey, if you use a liquid, if you use a stick. So again, I know a lot of you have products that are sitting at home that you haven't been using. I'm the same way. So I actually have been using a little bit more of intense of a concealer normally. So what I normally use is Dermablend. Guys, Dermablend is amazing for any type of cover-ups, tattoo cover-ups, blemishes, any scarring. It's a real deep cover-up. But my eyes are not as dark anymore. My eye cream helps with my dark circles, so I don't need this heavy-duty concealer anymore. So again, like a lot of you, I have a lot of products I bought over time that I hadn't used. And so once I stopped using the Dermablend, then I went to my good old faithful. This is Stay Naked from I don't know, child, Stay Naked. So I was using this. The shade is 60WR. So I was using this, but I'm fair skinned. It's now fall, winter. So around this time of the year, my skin lightens up. So I found this Bobbi Brown foundation stick that was in my drawer that I bought during the summertime that was too light for my skin. But guess what? Even though it was too light for my skin, it's perfect to use as a concealer. So this shade is Honey Foundation Stick from Bobbi Brown. Now, I'm old school, so I'm using my fingers. Your ring finger applies the least amount of pressure in the eye area. So what I do is I take my stick, I rub my finger around to warm it up, to soften the foundation, okay? So sometimes we think we need all of these multiple products, guys, but we really don't. So this is my foundation that I'm now using as a concealer under eye. So as you see before, okay, so let's put a little bit more because I think I got a little eyeliner in the mix. So we'll do that. Now listen, y'all, I don't claim to be an expert or nothing like that. I just know what I'm doing, so I wanted to show y'all. And we're gonna do the other eye, and I'm just patting. I'm just patting because when you rub, you move the makeup around. When you pat, you still get the coverage without having to put apply as much product. So I pat. Now, this is such a great shade that I could literally not even do the rest of my face if I just wanted to conceal my eyes for the day and go on about my business. But for this, we're gonna go all in, okay? So the next thing I'm gonna use is a setting powder. Now, this is the Dermablend translucent white setting powder. I like this powder because because it's white, it's not gonna make any colors on my makeup. So it's not gonna darken the shade, it's not gonna lighten it, it's just going to set it. So I have my brush, I tap lightly, just a little bit, and I just tap to set the powder, to set the concealer / foundation around my eyes. So this is the time of year most people's skin lightens up. So if you have that shade that was too light for you in the summer, you probably can pull it out and start using it now in the winter. So the next thing I'm gonna do, now it's time for me to apply my foundation. What I usually do is I'm gonna add mascara to my bottom lashes, but I'm gonna do that at the end. So with my mascara, now this is my favorite, y'all. So you may be like me. I'm the type of person that I have yellow and red undertones. You may not know what that means, but if it's hard for you to find one shade that actually matches your skin, then you're like me. I worked for several companies. I worked in department stores. I would use different brands, Lancome, Chanel, Dior, Prescriptives. I use all these different brands, but I could never find one color that matched my skin perfectly. So what I learned how to do was balance. So I use the liquid makeup that's the closest to my skin tone, and I use a setting, a translucent powder that's a little bit deeper to make the colors match. All right. So this is Born This Way Too Faced matte foundation, 24-hour wear. Now, even though I don't have a lot to cover up, I still like to use this makeup because a little bit goes a long way, okay? So, I'm gonna take my foundation brush, put one pump on my brush. Now, of course, if you want a heavier coverage, you may need to use 2 pumps. Then I follow up with my Rejuve, which is my CBD superfood for the skin that I sell. So if you love it, let me know. And I spray it on my brush. This is gonna help me not have such a matte look on my makeup. One spray. So what I like to do is tap, 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 tap. So I just tap the foundation around, and then I'd use a circular motion to blend it into my skin. Now, even in the summertime, I use this color, even though it may be a little bit light. And again, I just use my powder to blend it. You may be someone that has a bronzer. You can always use a bronzer to blend as well. I think I have a hair in my, there we go. So we're just smoothing this in. I'm tapping it around where I put that concealer, that foundation. So we're tapping it in, getting the nose, upper lip. Okay, and we're getting the forehead in. Let's circular motion, smooth it in, then some padding. Okay, smooth it in and then some padding. So one of my secrets is that when I use the powder, I use a foundation powder. I don't just use a pressed powder. I don't just use a setting powder. I use a foundation powder because it's gonna help, number one, make the color match exactly, but it's gonna give me just a little bit more of my made up look. Now, if you want, now I don't usually wear eyeshadow because I have these lashes, but what you can do is take a little bit of your brush, whatever's left, and just kind of get a little bit on there just so you even it all out. Okay. Now, I'm going to go into my powder. So the powder I actually use is from L'Oreal. It's a 24-hour fresh wear foundation powder. So again, the secret for me is, even though I'm using a liquid makeup, instead of using a regular pressed powder or a regular setting powder, I'm going to use a foundation powder. So this is now going to bring the color back down to where it needs to be so it's all the way blended in and it's not too light. So I'm just going to tuck my lips and I'm going to add my powder. I use a nice fluffy brush. Now I'm going to show you guys a quick contouring trick. Because I know when I remember when I decided to get back into, seeing what's going on in the makeup world, what are the new trends, and I've seen all these different color concealers and all of this contouring. I'm like, look, I can't do all that. That's not my thing. So I learned how to do it my way, which is very simple. So that same foundation powder, I'm going to use a brush, and I'm going to add a little bit here. As you can see where my jawbone is, and you can, if you want to know, a little bit here. Even though it's the same powder, because I'm applying it directly to the certain area, it's still going to give me a little contour to pull in my face. This definitely helps if you have a full face. So as you see, I'm starting here and I'm going down. If you have a slimmer face, instead of doing it at an angle, you would do it a straight line. All right, so we got a little bit here. I'm going to do a little bit at the top because this is my wig grip and wig cap, so I wear wigs. So to make sure that my wig and everything blends, I do a little bit of the powder up here. Then I use my smaller side brush, and this is just a dual. This is a Lancome. It's a duo big little brush. So I put a little bit of the powder, and then I start at my brow, and I just go down the bridge of my nose, just a little. Okay, down the bridge of my nose, just a little. Okay, and what I do to help pronounce that highlight or that contour areas, this is my highlighter palette. This is from Black Up Paris. Something I got at Macy's, it was on sale. Any highlighter will work. It doesn't matter the brand for real, because you're just going to use just a very little bit. So I have a small brush, if I can find it. Here we go. So I have a small brush, and listen, y'all, I just do just a little, okay? Just a little, bloop, bloop. And I go right down the middle. So now, because I've drawn attention, the light is going to go to this part of my nose. So now I got a little contour. Now my next step is blush. I am a blush fan. I've always loved blush. Blush is my thing. I know everybody doesn't wear blush, especially, you know, African American minority women, especially young ladies. They don't think it's hip, whatever. I wear blush. So the blush that I have today, this is MAC. It's full fuchsia. Now this is a very bright color blush, so I use just a little bit. And I always like to mix my blush with highlighter just to give it a little extra glow. So I literally take my brush, and I'm saying, y'all, I just put it just because this is an intense color, okay? So I do just a little bit. Boop. And then I go, this is my ghetto way, okay? I just here. I just swipe a little bit of each. And now remember, we put the powder here to contour, so I'm going right above. And some people smile. I just do this. I start right here and I just go upward. Okay? That's one side. Now, a little, and if you get too much on the brush, blow it off to tone it down. 1, 1, 1. And back at it again. So I just go at an upward angle. So that way I have a little highlight and my blush together. Now, what I usually do is I'll take my hand mirror and I'll look at both sides to make sure, I'll look into the sunlight to make sure they're equally together, and they are. Good job, LaQuail. All right, so now I'm gonna go in with my mascara. Now, if you don't wear fake lashes, this is a great mascara in general, but because I have on individuals, I just wear it on my bottom. But this is Lash Domination from Bare Minerals. I got this in a sample one time, and I've been a fan ever since. So I'm not gonna go like this. My bottom lashes are already fairly long, so if I go like this, I'm gonna end up with little dots from the mascara. So I brush the tip off to make sure I get any excess mascara off, and then I hold it like this, and I just gently brush across. I just gently brush across. Now, if you have no lashes on the bottom, then you kind of want to do it the up and down. But I don't want to have any little black marks looking like a spider. So as you can see, my bottom lashes are already long. And then I just take my little brush and I just brush my top lashes. I brush down and then I brush up. Now I'm gonna do, you know what? I'm gonna give y'all a little something. I'm gonna do some eyeshadow. Oops, see, I lost one of my lashes. I'm gonna do a little eyeshadow for you guys, just since we're here. So I'm gonna do something very simple. You know, you may be, again, going to work. You may just be going to church. You don't wanna be too much. You don't wanna be too flashy. I get it. So what I usually do is I'm gonna take my highlighter, the same thing, and I'm gonna use this as a base for my eyeshadow. Now, if y'all see, I'm showing you how to use multiple products that you have to do different things. You don't need 50 products to do your makeup. They'll tell you you do because they want you to spend the money, but it's not necessary. It's not required. You know, you got to use what you have. Like I said, I know a lot of you have makeup at home that you don't even use because you don't know what to do with it. So I'm hoping that this will help you kind of navigate through your makeup bag. So I have a full brush and I have I don't know what kind of brush this is called, but this is like a crease brush to me. So I use this and I'm gonna take I think I'm gonna go with this one. I'm gonna use this highlighter. Now, because it's a highlighter, it's very, you know, if I use too much, it's gonna be very bold. So I'm only putting a little bit on. I'm closing my eyes. I'm starting at the lash line of my lashes, then I'm moving it up all the way to the brow bone. I'm not putting on 2 colors. I'm not putting on 3 colors. We're just gonna put a little bit and move it up to the brow bone. Now we go with the other side, same thing. So I'm hoping this is helping y'all, because like I said, I don't claim to be a professional makeup artist, guys. I am self-taught. I worked at makeup counters for over 5 years. I worked for freelance with Elizabeth Art, and I did makeup and skincare events at Macy's locations all over at Georgia. So I definitely, you know, have the skill set, but I'm not like trained. I didn't go to school and all of that. So now you see I've got my base on my eyes. Now I'm gonna go into my eyeshadow palette. This is Sultry from Anastasia. Anastasia is one of my favorite brands. And I'm just going to use, I don't want to lift it up too bad because one I'm about to break, but I'm going to use just a little bit of this like light, like shimmery brown. Now I like shimmer. If you don't like shimmer, I like shimmer. If you don't like shimmer, just use a little bit of a matte, but I like a little shimmer. So I'm going to take my crease brush and just so you know, I'm just literally tapping it because I don't want too much color. So if I rub it, then it's going to be a lot of color on the brush and it's going to be a bolder look. So I'm going to start right at this part of my eye. This is my natural crease area. So I'm going to start here, but I'm going to blend it out. I'm going to blend it out. I'm not going to bring it all the way down. I'm going to stop it about right here. I'm going to put a little more emphasis on the corner just to give it a little bit more. So now I have the definition. It's not too much. It's not overpowering. It's not overkill, but it's a little something. So I'm going to do the same thing on this side, starting here and then bringing it around. And you'll be able to feel on your eye where to stop. You'll actually be able to feel on your eye where to go for your crease. Everybody's eyes are different. Now, if you have, I have larger eyes, so I can go a little bit further in. If you have smaller eyes, you can focus more so just on the corner, because if you have smaller eyes, if you go too far, smaller. Now, if you are the person that has a hooded eye, which means your skin overlaps. I kind of do a little bit. When you have that hooded eye, you do want to make sure the color goes up a little bit higher, so that when your eyes are closed, when your eyes are still open, you can still see a little bit of the crease. Now, I don't usually do this, but I'm going to do it for y'all. Is I'm going to wear some liquid eyeliner on top. I always used to wear liquid eyeliner before I started wearing lashes, but as y'all can see, these lashes are really long. So it's not as easy sometimes for me to put on liquid eyeliner, but for the sake of this video, let's go. So this is Il Makiage eyeliner, ink liner in black. I like liners with a felt because it's easy to navigate. It's not hard, it's not flimsy, it's not dripping. So I'm gonna start right here in the middle of my eye, and I always do a slight angle. Just a slight angle, and then I take it all the way across into the corner. And then I do a little bit here to kind of connect this part of my eye to that part of my eye. Okay, so that's one side. Let's get it over here. Again, just a little bit, starting in the middle, a slight angle, and then just gliding it across. Gliding it across. You know, I gotta switch hands, or switch angles. Here we go, sliding it across. Now, if you feel like you went up too high on your angle, just bring it in a little bit more. And again, if you're someone that has smaller eyes, I would focus on eyeliner just on the corners, even if you put eyeliner on the bottom. When you have smaller eyes and you put your eyeliner on the corners, it spreads it out. So it makes your eyes look a little more bigger, a little more pop. And I'm just gonna adjust my eyelashes again. So there you have it, guys. And then of course, whatever lip color I'm gonna put on today, I'm also gonna wear that. So let's see if I have any. For this video, I'm gonna put on some lips for y'all. Now I'm a lip gloss girl. I'm not really a lipstick girl. I'm more of a lip gloss girl, and I'm more of a multiple lip gloss girl. So I use 3, 4, 5 colors at once. Okay, so I just went in a drawer and I just grabbed 3. This is Champagne. This is from a collection that I sell. This is the MAC Lip Glass in Metal U, and this is Saucin. This is a young lady who has a lip gloss brand that I support. So the Metal U is a little more metallic, so I'm gonna start with that. And of course, you wanna make sure you moisturize your lips. I use Blistex. Use some type of lip moisturizer before you put your lip gloss on, just so it glides on a little bit better. So I actually had done that before I started this tutorial. So this is the Champagne. We're gonna come in behind it. And if you're trying something new, I like to put it on the bottom, blend it, and then build. It's better to have to build the makeup than to put too much on and then have to take it off and start over. So this is a nice natural look. This is something I can do every day, anywhere. We've been on here about 25 minutes. And part of that time, if I wasn't talking and I was just moving, that would have shaved about 10 minutes off. So this is how you can do your own basic makeup. So does anyone have questions? If anybody has questions, now I told y'all this is my first time going live, so I'm assuming y'all can ask some questions, but I don't know. But if not, comment below this video if you want more from me, if you want any other advice on anything. Like I said, this is my first time doing something like this, but I wanted to make sure that I got this ball rolling. So thank you, ladies, for getting ready with me. You know, this is what 43 makeup looks like. It's not a bunch of glitz, it's not a bunch of glamour. What's the name of the mascara? Oh, this is Lash Domination from Bare Minerals. Lash Domination from Bare Minerals. And listen, y'all, I worked at Macy's for many years. So all of these products that I'm using, other than my cleansing tea, other than my CBD superfood for the skin, and my lip gloss and skincare, you can buy at Macy's. So this is how, so now look, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go out. I'm ready to go to dinner. I'm ready to go to brunch. I'm ready to go hang out with my boo if I had one. I'm ready for my day. And if you're someone that wants that real dewy look, I would take the Rejuve at the end and then spray it. I would hold it far from my face so it could just mist. And the last tip I'm going to give you is this. If you do like a more softer look in your makeup, I suggest doing your makeup maybe 30 minutes to an hour before you're going to leave the house, because what happens is as the makeup sets in your skin, your natural oils are going to start breaking through, and that's what makes it look more natural. So, you know, you want to give it, because sometimes when you get your makeup done, if you ever got your makeup done, you see it look matte and dry, and you're like, that looks so fake. I look so made up. That's too much. If you give it a little bit of time, your natural skin oils will start breaking through, usually on your nose and across your cheeks. And if you're someone that deals with dry skin, then I would suggest using a heavier moisturizer underneath the makeup before you apply it. Because most makeup is still going to give there's some makeups that do have a more dewy look. But if your skin is dry, you want to make sure it's adequately moisturized before you apply your makeup. So thank you guys for joining me today. Makeup with LQ, getting ready with me. So again, I'm prepared to show more glam looks. So make sure you comment below this video and tell me what is it that you're looking for to learn for yourself. I definitely have some big plans. You know, I have a class in mind that I want to really continue to help women see what they can do with the makeup that they already own. I don't want you to go out and buy a bunch of new stuff. I want to help you learn how to use what you already have. All right, so I'll see you guys later.